An entitled old jerk yelled at my sister, who is dying from cancer, that she needs to stop faking it and get out of her wheelchair. And I'm honestly still shaken up by this incident, and at this point, I don't know what to do. Here's what happened. So I have a sister who was diagnosed with cancer in 2019, and it has been a very long road. She received a transplant and has GVHD. It's been incredibly difficult to watch her get frail and lose mobility. She can't work and spends the majority of her time at the hospital getting treatments. Well, she called me to share that her favorite group from Europe was having a rare concert in the state that I live in and that I should go. So I flew her out and I invited our other sister to join us. She called to tell me a few weeks prior to her trip that she can't walk across a room anymore and she is very weak, but I made every accommodation that I could for her. This is a big deal and she has a tendency to downplay how sick she is. When I picked them up from the airport, I barely recognized her. She told us that night that she thinks this is the end of her life and she's now looking at palliative care. This was the last time she would be physically able to travel and that we would be able to do one of our girls' trips. She even needs help to get out of a wheelchair. We went to the concert and the venue was very small and intimate and it was not ADA compatible. There were no handicap parking spots or elevators or designated spots for wheelchairs. I found her a spot behind the last row just to the side of the hallway and I grabbed 2 small chairs for us. There are 2 entrances about 30 feet apart from each other and it takes less than a minute to exit the theater and walk around to the other entrance. Well, we were talking when some old entitled jerk started yelling at me to move out of his way. He was ramming his walker into my folding chair repeatedly. I told him we can't move because she's in a wheelchair and there's no place for her to go without being in the flow of traffic. But he continues to violently ram my chair and yells loudly, "Oh, she's faking it. Tell her to get her fat butt up and move." But I responded calmly by saying she can't get out of the wheelchair. Please turn around and use the exit and come in the other door. He then yells and rams my chair even harder. "I'm the one in the wheelchair with a disability and not her. Move out of my way." By this time, both of my sisters are aware of what's happening. My one sister climbs over the wheelchair and tries to back it up, but she can only move back about 4 inches. He then screams at me, "Move your lazy butt and stop making life harder for a poor old man." Now, I cannot easily get out as he's blocking the only viable exit, and he's running his walker repeatedly into my chair. I mean, I was afraid he was going to hit me, so I climbed over both folding chairs in my high heels and my sister in her wheelchair. But he keeps ramming the empty chair and making a scene. The area is so narrow that it's barely wide enough for his walker, so there is no way he can get by unless he wants to move the chairs, and we would have to completely exit the venue. He continues on with his tantrum, then starts demanding that I go find his wife because she will know what to do. And she's just on the other side of the aisle from my sister and she's completely ignoring him. Well, he then abruptly stops. He turns around and in less than a minute is next to his wife. Meanwhile, all 3 of us are really shaken. So many people, including the ushers, witnessed this, and still nobody helped us out. I was so angry and shaking, and it honestly took me a long time to calm down because the way we got treated was absolutely unacceptable. You are a stronger person than me because I think I would go to jail if somebody did that to me. There's no way I would ever respond well to that kind of treatment. Like seriously, this is absolutely uncalled for and so toxic. First of all, why does the venue not have handicap accessibility? Isn't that like illegal or something like that? I'm pretty sure there's laws against that. The fact that you had to find some like corner next to the exit just to have any spot to sit, like that is crazy and there is no good excuse for that, especially a venue that has concerts. But also, this guy was completely out of line. Like he was ramming into your chair like an idiot. Like screw that guy, you're trying to spend time with your sister who's probably gonna die soon. So honestly, I'm so sorry that happened to you. You didn't deserve that in the slightest because that guy was completely out of line. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, link down below in the description. Also, go to amithejerk.com/submit if you would like to submit your own stories. Am I the jerk for disinviting my sister-in-law to my Christmas gathering and for refusing to invite her back after she made some awful comments about me? Because right now I'm being accused of causing unnecessary drama, and at this point I seriously don't know what to do. Here's what happened. So I'm a 26-year-old female, and my boyfriend, who we will call Alex, has a sister who we will call Sally. Alex and I recently moved in together, so we thought it would be good to host Christmas there as a housewarming. All those invited were Alex's parents, Sally, my parents, my brother's wife, and my 2 nieces. Sally's best friend, who we will call Mary, was also going to come by for a while, as her family lives quite far away, and I have met and hung out with Mary a few times. Anyways, Sally and I got into a stupid argument. We both have tattoos and piercings. I also have stretched ears, and I no longer wear them. I like a lot of metal and rock music, but no longer dress as gothic or dark as I used to. But Sally is quite gothic, and she has numerous facial and ear piercings. I used to have the same, but took took them all out a couple of years ago, but recently just put my nose ring back in. I have a single piercing, but I put a ring in that is a double ring, but on one piercing, if that makes sense. I just really like the look of it, and I thought that it suited me. Sally, on the other hand, has 2 proper nose piercings, with both rings in one nostril. When I met up with her, she noticed my piercing and asked if I got a new one, and I said no. But then she got really weird and quite mean by stating to me, and I quote, "Why in the world are you wearing a fake double nose ring? You're just being a poser. I actually went and got it done properly." She said some other comments saying it really didn't suit me, and I would be better off going back to being a pretend happy person. It actually really hurt my feelings, and I don't know where it came from. It was like she was gatekeeping a certain way of looking. She has made some comments before about me dressing in color, etc., rather than all black and still liking metal, and said before that I don't fit into the metal group. And the last comment also felt like a dig at my mental health. Putting my nose piercing back in actually boosted my self-esteem, as I've struggled to accept how I look due to severe depression. When I went back home, I told Alex what happened, and he called Sally, and she tried to play the whole thing off as a joke, and said that it's not her fault I'm too weak to handle sarcasm. She then just kept laughing about it, and didn't even attempt to apologize. Well, I've decided I no longer want Sally over for Christmas if all she wants to do is humiliate me, and Alex agrees. He texted saying that she is no longer welcome if she is going to be like that, and when he did that, things really went through the roof. She has thrown a colossal temper tantrum, saying that we are targeting and excluding her, and yet she hasn't once offered an apology. I told my in-laws about it, and they seem to think that I should be the bigger person, and say that I probably took the comment the wrong way, which, trust me, I definitely didn't. They say I'm causing unnecessary drama, and that Christmas is for the family. My family are in my side, saying what's the point in inviting someone over who can cruelly mock my appearance and try to pass it off as a joke. And my family also mentioned a good point that my in-laws didn't. Sally made a cruel comment about my mental health, and that honestly is not okay. So am I the jerk for uninviting Sally to my Christmas party? What should I do? No, you're definitely not the jerk, because this kind of behavior is so inappropriate. If someone's gonna be toxic towards you and treat you like garbage, then in my opinion, they have no obligation to be around you. And I seriously don't care what the occasion is. So no, in my opinion, I don't think you're the jerk for uninviting Sally, because her behavior, in my opinion, would have made things incredibly awkward. And that is not something that you should ever be expected to put up with. An entitled Karen loses her mind after she misses the cutoff to buy beer at my grocery store. Here's what happened. So while I was working at a grocery store some years ago, there was this one particular incident that happened on a day that I was not working myself. However, I came there to shop. Now, the laws here make it so that the sale of alcohol is forbidden after 8 o'clock p.m., so the store would cover up the beer aisle and the fridges. I came in the store at about 7:55 p.m., and the incident happened from here. A woman comes into the store with a shopping cart and sees that my colleague is about to start covering the alcohol, but says nothing and just grabs a 6-pack of beer. As the woman made her way around the store to the register, I was at self-checkout minding my own business when I heard someone yelling. She started screaming, "Why did you close the alcohol sale so early? I was here 7 minutes before. You need to scan it right now." For reference, she had bought a 6-pack of beer, which by the way won't scan in now no matter what, since it was now 8:03 p.m. "I was here before it closed. Let me buy it right now, you stupid jerk." Although trust me, she didn't say jerk. My colleague at the register got more and more tilted and started talking back, and I'm not sure what he said since he was much quieter. But then suddenly this woman starts addressing other customers. She starts screaming out, "I was here before 8 o'clock, so I should be able to buy this, right?" Well, if you could insert a cricket noise, this would be the right time to do it. She then pays for some stuff and then runs outside the store entrance and calls somebody. Now, I'm on my way out of the store at this point, and I hear her screaming, "Check the clock, I was here early. These idiots told me it was closed, but it was early." Then she finally goes back inside and screams at my colleague, "You are an absolute idiot and such a jerk." And I'm not sure what happened afterwards, as I was on my way home, but clearly this lady's alcoholism was so bad that she had to make a fool of herself in front of everybody. Yeah, this is a classic case of she wasn't on time, so this is now everybody else's fault. Here's the thing, if she ran in there and bought it really quickly before it hit 8 o'clock, she could have bought her stuff and then gone about with her life. But the fact that she's trying to freak out on the employee, who has probably no control over how this is sold, that in my opinion is so uncalled for. She has no right to treat someone like that, and I honestly just can't stand customers who act this way. Am I the jerk for skipping Thanksgiving to avoid my cousin's fiancé after he treated me so poorly last year? Because right now I'm getting guilt tripped so hard by my aunt and uncle that I really feel like I might be in the wrong. Here's what happened. Okay, so I'm very close with one of my cousins, but I'm not a big fan of her fiancé. They've been together for 5 years, and at family events he's either a total grump or he's drunk drunk, or sometimes he's even both. On Thanksgiving night, my family always has the Charlie Brown Christmas movie on in the background after dinner, and this is our way to kick off the holiday season. The volume is almost at zero and it's just on in the background. We don't sit around and actively watch it. Well, 2 years ago, he complained about it being on, even though it's not even loud, and the football games had already ended when we put it on. Last year, he showed up drunk, and he was pretty belligerent and was slurring his words. He then immediately started being rude to my cousin when she tried to give him water instead of beer, and he complained about the movie so much that we changed it, even though he was in the kitchen and it was playing in another room. After an hour, I went back and I put on Charlie Brown because I love watching it, and he wasn't paying attention, so I thought he wouldn't notice. I moved the TV controller under a pillow so he couldn't change it again, and when he realized it was back on, he freaked out and started yelling for somebody to change it. Now, no one said anything, but some of my family members were looking in my direction. He then full-on yells at the table I'm at and tells me that I need to turn the stupid movie off. Well, one of my brothers got up and told them that they need to leave, and he and my cousin left right away. Now, he apologized afterwards, but my cousin still acts like it didn't happen. It was really jarring to have someone yell and curse at me like that. Well, this year, I skipped Thanksgiving because I didn't want to deal with him, and I'm still not comfortable being around him. My aunt and uncle were upset that I didn't come, and they tried to guilt trip me. Now, I've seen him and my cousin at other events this year, and we were cordial, but I kind of feel like the jerk because I hid the remote, but I think I was justified in skipping Thanksgiving. My two brothers have been on my side ever since it happened, and so have my other cousins. So seriously, am I the jerk in this situation? Because right now, I seriously don't know what to do. Okay, first and foremost, absolutely not. You're definitely not the jerk. This guy freaked out on you over a movie he wasn't even watching. Like, there's no reason to freak out like that. It's not like it was playing loud, and from the sounds of it, it was in another room. Like, seriously, this guy got mad at nothing. So no, I don't blame you for skipping out on Thanksgiving, because the fact that your cousin, aka his fiancé, is acting like this didn't happen, in my opinion, is super toxic, and that is definitely not something that you should have to put up with. Am I the jerk for giving away the spare key to our apartment to my sister instead of my girlfriend's parents? Simply because my girlfriend and my sister don't exactly get along. Because right now, I'm honestly not sure what to do. Here's what happened. So me and my girlfriend of 3 years moved in together to our new apartment. And to get straight to the point, I wanted to give our spare key to my sister who lives closer to us than her parents, who also lives in another city. I reasoned that a spare key is for emergencies, and it would be more logical to give it to someone who lives closer, like my sister. My girlfriend didn't agree with me because my sister doesn't like her much, so she isn't comfortable with her having easy access to our apartment. Also, she had the spare to our previous apartment and had used it without our permission. But later, she did tell us that she had been crashing there for an hour or so, all because she felt car sick. Now, I thought it was fine, and my girlfriend didn't say anything, so I assumed that she was okay with it, but she has been bringing this up lately. Now, I'd like to clarify that my sister has done that only once, and I still think it was fine because she wasn't feeling well. Anyways, giving a spare wasn't a big deal, so I gave it to my sister and also made a duplicate for her parents. Well, my girlfriend wasn't thrilled with my action, stating that I should have told her beforehand. And yes, I will admit that I messed up by not telling her about the duplicate, and I have apologized for that. But again, I reasoned that a spare key should be given to someone living closer to us, and if she wants to, then we can give another to a friend. But right now, she's still mad at me, and she's giving me the cold shoulder. I think this was an unnecessary argument, and it's a win-win situation. Everybody gets a key. So truly, am I the jerk in this situation? What should I do? Okay, I've just got to say, I really think the original poster is the jerk in this situation, because they literally completely ignored their girlfriend. For starters, I don't blame your girlfriend for being upset that your sister went in your apartment without your permission. And sure, she's saying that she was only there once because she was car sick or whatever she's telling you, but that's already incredibly sketchy, and it's not fair for your girlfriend to have to feel like, oh man, she could be in my house at any time, or even be left wondering how many times she's been there without your knowledge. So the fact that you completely ignored your girlfriend and said, well, I'm gonna give a key to my sister anyway, sorry about that, like that is so weird to me. There's no reason for that, and you really should not have done that. So yes, I do think you're the jerk here. You ignored your girlfriend completely, and I don't blame her for being upset, because in my opinion, this is definitely not a win-win situation. This next story came from the Am I the Jerk subreddit. Check the links in the description if you would like to submit your own story. Am I the jerk for shutting down my cousin and not letting her use my wedding as her engagement reveal? Because she claims she's not stealing the spotlight and that this would be just a simple announcement that wouldn't take much time. But I've decided to put my foot down and say no, stating that this is our special day and that she cannot take away from it. Here's what happened. I'm a 29-year-old female and I'm getting married in 2 weeks. My fiancé and I have been planning this wedding for over a year, and we've worked hard to make make it special. It's a mid-sized event with about 100 people in attendance, and we've kept it pretty traditional. The ceremony, the dinner, the speeches, the dancing, pretty usual stuff that you would expect at a wedding. Well, enter my cousin, who we will call Emily. She's 27 years old, and she's always been the type who loves being the center of attention, which isn't usually a problem until now. A few days ago, Emily pulled me aside during a family dinner, and she asked if she could make a small announcement at my wedding reception. When I asked what kind of announcement, she got all giddy and said, "Me and my boyfriend are engaged." Now, I congratulated her, but immediately told her that my wedding day wasn't the right time or place for her announcement. I explained that my fiancé and I have spent a lot of time and money planning this day, and I didn't want anything taking away from the celebration. When I said that, Emily looked genuinely hurt. She said to me, "I thought you'd be happy for me. It's not like I'm stealing the spotlight. It's just one little announcement." But I stood my ground and I said no. But now she's been sulking ever since. She has even hinted to other family members that I'm being selfish and insecure. And now my aunt is calling to say that I'm making a big deal out of nothing. My fiancé is 100% on my side and thinks it's ridiculous for anyone to use someone else's wedding to make a big announcement. But part of me wonders if I am overreacting. Emily swears she wasn't trying to overshadow me, and I know it's exciting for her to be engaged, but I really need to know, am I in the wrong for shutting down my cousin in the way that I did? Because right now I don't know what to do. No, you are not the jerk. Emily is out of her mind if she thinks that's okay. You put all this time and money into your special day, and then she wants to swoop in and be like, "Oh, by the way, we're gonna take center stage for a little bit." Like, no, you're not doing that. That's insane. Like, that is seriously not fair for you in the slightest. So no, I don't blame you for a second for shutting that down. Because I know if I was in your situation, I would not only ignore my stupid aunt, but I would hold my ground and say, "No, you're not doing that at my wedding." Literally, if they want to announce that, then do that on their own dime. But for them to show up at your event and try to make that happen, in my opinion, is totally unacceptable. Am I the jerk for canceling all of my Christmas plans for my family, all because my brother refuses to apologize for the way he's been treating me? Because after he's made some incredibly hurtful comments about me and my life, as well as constantly putting me down and making fun of me in front of the family, I've decided to put my foot down, demanding that he either apologize for the way he's acting, or else I would cancel all of my plans that I had for the family. Because right now, after I decided to stand my ground, my family is freaking out on me, saying that I'm overreacting and that I'm the one being childish. And at this point, I seriously don't know what to do. Here's what happened. Okay, so here's the deal. I am designated the Christmas host in our family. Every year, I pour my heart into organizing the holidays with cooking, decorating, buying gifts, and creating what my family calls a Christmas wonderland. Everyone loves it, and I truly enjoy doing it. That is until last year came around. My youngest brother, who we will call Jack, has always been the jokester of the family. But lately, his jokes have been hitting below the belt. During Thanksgiving, he made a joke about how I've been single for years and probably spend my evenings crocheting sweaters for my cats, even though for the record, I don't even have cats. Now, the family laughed awkwardly at this, but I felt humiliated. I asked him to knock it off, and he just brushed me off, saying I was too sensitive. Fast forward to last week, and we're in a group chat finalizing our Christmas plans. Jack then posts a meme about women over 30 hosting elaborate holidays because apparently no man wants to marry them, and then he tags me in it. I then immediately texted him privately, telling him that his jokes are hurtful and asking him to apologize. He then says to me, "Oh, relax, it's funny, you're making this a big deal." I then told him that if he didn't apologize, then I was seriously considering canceling Christmas at my house this year. But that's when he decided to double down, saying that I was being a drama queen and that I should learn to take a joke. But that's when I hit my limit. I sent a message to the family group chat telling everybody that I've decided not to host Christmas this year. I said that Jack's repeated disrespect has taken the joy completely out of me. Feel free to make any other plans that you wish to make. Well, this is where the chaos started. My mom begged me to reconsider, saying Jack's just being himself and doesn't mean any harm. My dad called me childish for ruining Christmas over a joke. And while my sister said she understood where I was coming from, she still thinks that I'm being a bit extreme. And Jack, of course, is calling me a Grinch and accusing me of overreacting. Now, I feel guilty because I know my decision impacts everybody, especially the kids in the family who look forward to Christmas at my place. But at the same time, I feel like I shouldn't have to tolerate constant disrespect in my own home, even if it's wrapped up as some kind of joke. So am I the jerk for canceling Christmas over this kind of treatment? Because right now, I don't know what to do. No, you're not the jerk at all. Honestly, I would do the same thing if I was in your shoes. Here's the thing. People like Jack are bullies, and bullies like this need to be put in their place. Because what he's doing is not funny. This is not some like reciprocated experience between the two of you, and it's not an inside joke that you're both in on. This is him bullying you and seeing you as an easy target and thinking thinking that he can get away with it by being like, oh yeah, I'm just telling a joke, don't be so sensitive. Like, why should you have to put up with that, but you can't put your foot down to be like, hey, stop it, this is mean. You're hurting my feelings and I don't like this. And the fact that nobody's coming to your defense and being like, wow, yeah, that's really hurtful, Jack needs to stop. Like, that says all you need to know about the way they actually feel about you. They would rather you get bullied by Jack instead of correcting Jack and telling him to stop. Like, these people sound like they really just don't care about you. And that is not fair for you at all. You seriously do not deserve that. So seriously, I don't think it's your responsibility to be some kind of doormat or even Jack's punching bag for his stupid comments, because the way he's acting is super inappropriate and you do not deserve to be treated like that in the slightest. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist at the top of the description. And if you want some chill music to put on in the background, check out easymode.com. If you like Am I the Jerk, subscribe to Am I the Genius. Everything will be linked down below in the description.